Ekaterina, Jean-Felix, and Faranak, welcome to the studio. We have 10 minutes for 3 short questions, so let us not lose time and jump right into the questions. Our first speaker will be Ekaterina from the United Kingdom. Hi, Ekaterina. So first question. Do you think that governments and the United Nations are doing enough to get us to carbon neutrality and avoid climate calamity? In other words, with all the attention, can we be sure that we can avoid point of no return?
Hi, thank you very much for inviting me to speak at EDD. And second, the answer to your question is no, very shortly no. The problem is with climate change is that we need a system change. Each country can just pass its nationally determined contribution and just simply not comply with them. And on a global level, there's no court system, there's no global policeman which is going to chase countries to actually comply with these laws. And this is the main problem with climate change. And the way the current framework that we have in the world, UNFCCC, we have UNEP, we have IPCC, and we have these COP26 meetings, but unfortunately, all of these meetings, all of these conferences are just noise. There's not much climate action actually done. The biggest global polluters, the United States, China, India, the European Union, they're still not doing enough. And unfortunately, there's no one who can comply with them. And there's no one who can chase them and who can tell them, look, you have to reduce your carbon emissions. And that's the problem. The UN is not currently doing enough. The UN doesn't have a jurisdiction above these countries, above China, about the United States, above India, the biggest polluters in the world. And that's the problem. In order to address climate change, we need a system change. We need a totally different global governance system that is adapted to address a challenge like climate change. For the last 1,000 years, for most of humanity's history, we've never faced such a challenge. We've never faced such a challenge that we need a cooperation all across the world, because every single community, every single person in the world is going to be affected by climate change. And no country in its own sovereignty, within its own legal system, can tackle this challenge. So my answer is no, and we need a totally different system change, a totally different system, both UN level, national level, to address the challenge.
Thank you, Ekaterina. Great points. Now let us turn to Faranak from Iran. Faranak, we heard about climate governance, but what about climate democracy and the role of the people? In other words, what is the climate ambassador's message on what individuals and the youth should do on climate action and advocacy? Neither of them? And Jean-Felix?
Just have what?
Yes. Okay. Ekaterina, you can hear me? Sorry, it seems like we don't have Faranak, neither Jean-Felix online. I don't know if perhaps I could jump to our third question to Jean-Felix. Perhaps you could answer as well. And to please now, since we are happy to have you here, if you could explain us and clarify for us who are the center of UN constitutional research, youth climate ambassadors, and what do they do?
So thank you very much for the question, and I'm sorry we had some technical issues with Faranak and with Jean-Felix. So I'm going to give you a quick introduction to CUNCR. The Center for United Nations Constitutional Research is a Brussels-based international think tank. It's a non-profit organization which has no affiliation to any specific political party or political vision. It was created around 2 years ago, and its main goal is to promote global governance in climate. This is the most important goal of CUNCR. And we do that by providing research, by organizing events, by putting together thinkers and looking for ways that we can reform the UN system so we can address global challenges like climate change. So I'm going to give you a little bit of an overview. What is the YCA? So the YCA is a unique program launched by CUNCR in 2019, actually. So it's called Youth Climate Ambassadors. So in 2019 in Greece and Epirus, CUNCR had an event. It was a Climate Justice and Climate Democracy Summit. So we've got a lot of young people coming together in Greece that year. and they came together with the Icarus Declaration about the need of people in climate governance, about the need that we, the peoples, have a say in our future in climate governance. So we had this declaration by these young people, and they created this unique network of young climate ambassadors, young climate activists all around the world. We have people in Mexico, in Jean-Felix in Cameroon, people in Asia and Africa. We have representation from all around the world. And our youth climate ambassadors, they represent us at events. They speak to politicians. They speak to senior decision makers. They speak to famous people, just to bring more attention to the climate disaster that we're in. So they're spreading the message all over the world. And this is the YCA program, and you can find out more about it online on our website. And you can also find out more about CUNCR, about the work we can do on our website. And what else do you want me to answer? Was it Farhan's question or Jean-Felix's question?
Ekaterina, thanks. I think it was a great answer, very clear, and you got your messages right across. Actually, we just got Farhan from Iran right online. So Farhan, there is just less than 2 minutes, so let us try to be very, very fast. But please, what would be the message from the climate ambassadors on climate democracy and on what individuals and the youth should do on climate action? Looks like we cannot hear Farhan.
Hello.
Okay, hi Farhan, you're online.
Hi, thank you for having me in this interview. Actually, climate democracy means that they take charge of debate in climate change, both in terms of being represented in the governance of climate and individual climate action. Although the best way to mitigate climate change by changing our lifestyles as individuals and in our business and industry practices. So we simply produce less carbon, but the second best practice is to offset the carbon with industrial means the way our planet has done it for millions of years, the nature-based solutions of turning CO2 to oxygen. Simply planting trees in a reforestation or community setting with youth engagement and biodiversity in mind, our recommended solution for the world citizen as the guardians of the planet to combat climate change. Until both individual and corporate level, as well as governance level, we have system change and not climate change. Carbon offsetting is the social responsibility action to sustainability and protection of our planet. The increase in harmful gases and CO2 because of our modern lifestyle is further aggravated by cutting down trees and deforestation, which have always acted as.
Thank you, Farhan. Thank you. Sorry, we have to cut here. The time will be over. But I think the main point got across. Many thanks to the three of you. And I remind the audience that they can find our three speakers on their stand on the Global Village. Let us meet again on the studio right after the bumper.